Welcome back. In this lecture, we're gonna take a quick tour of the Ads Manager itself. Now, it's not important at all that you understand all of the different features and ways that you can customize your ads using the Ads Manager. Rather, everything that we have done so far using the e-commerce strategy, all that you know by now is pretty much what you need to know to successfully drive traffic to your store. However, in order for you to feel a little bit more comfortable in the Facebook ads section, that is the Ads Manager, we're going to have a quick tour to kind of understand some additional functions that you might have some good use of. So let's take a tour, let's dive in. So here we are, and we're going to start from the very top. Now, the first thing we have is that we have our ad account. We don't need to play with this at all, but should we have multiple ads accounts, then all we need to do is click here and we could choose another account, right? Moving to the right, if there are any updates, if you're changing anything in your ads, or you want to see, the cost per result is going up, what is happening to my ROAS, etc., you can just click on the refresh table data here, and everything is going to update itself. We have discard drafts. If you make any changes and you're not happy with the changes, you click on discard drafts, and everything goes back to the way it was previously. You can also review and publish if you do anything new. Now, to the very right here, we also have Reset Ads Manager. Don't want to touch that. And then we have keyboard shortcuts, which means that you could basically add in these shortcuts so that it's easier to open different functions. Now, I've never used it. I don't know anyone else who uses it either, but they're there. All right, so the next thing we have is the search function. Now, the search function means that when you're starting to have a lot of different products, a lot of different ads, it's eventually going to get confusing. So what you can do is that you can move on and search for something by their campaign name. This is when it's really handy that you have a campaign name that is going to be based on the product. So you can look at the product, then you can go in here, and then you can search for the campaign name for the product name. You're going to find it easily. And you're going to have different things you can search for here. Then there are different filters, the way you can filter through all of your different campaigns, ad sets, and ads. So, for example, one of those that I think is really handy to have is going to be the ad delivery. So if you only want to see the ads that are actually delivering, you go to ad delivery and you click on active. So that means that all of the ads, that is campaigns, ad sets, and everything that you have actually shut off, they are not going to be visible. This is going to be handy when you're running a lot of ads and a lot of ad sets and a lot of ad designs. So then you can use this one and only show the active ones, right? Very useful. You can also add in your own filter if you want to use multiple filters. Very easy to use. Now, moving to the right, this is super important because this is going to be your time frame. So that means that right now we're looking at a month. So if you see that something is going wonky with your statistics, maybe, hey, why am I not spending more money here? Or, hey, what happened to the ROAS? Or why are my link clicks actually going down? What's up? Well, that's probably going to be because your time frame or your time filter is set to a month. So if you want to see the lifetime, you go to lifetime. But if you only want to see for a certain month, you keep it for this month. But it's super important that you understand this, because if you keep it for a month, just like this, well, then all of the stats in here is going to display for a month, right? That means that your link clicks are going to go down. You're not going to see the lifetime values, all right? And then we have the different levels, the campaign, the ad sets, and the ads, which we've already gone through. You know how to create here. Now, what you can also do if you click on create there and you want to create things more quickly, you can switch to quick creation mode. This is personally how I prefer to create all of my ads. So as you can see, you can create a new campaign directly here, giving it a name, or you can use an existing campaign and you just write in it the name and select it just like that. Then you can decide if you only want to create new ad sets, you write that in, but you can also use existing ad sets and then only focus on creating actually new ads. And then you're going to be in the different creations that's going to look the same way as it did when we duplicated our ad sets. So the interface is a little different, but it's more intuitive and it's more summarized and easier to use, in my opinion. So that is that. And then we also have things like we can duplicate multiple by selecting multiple things. For example, if I go to ad sets and I select all of these, then I can go ahead and duplicate multiple things at once, all right? If I want to select everything in this frame at once, I would click up here, it would select all of them. Now we can edit things very differently. Let's say that I select that one, I go to the right here, I can turn it on, I can turn it off, I can use find and replace, I can set the budget. So that means if I want to change the budget for all of them for some reason, I can go in here, I can go to budget, and then I could change the budget for all of them at once. Now there's also something known as A/B testing. This is known as split testing, which means that you can change one single thing in an ad set, for example, and see which one that is performing the best. With our specific strategy, we are not going to be using the A/B testing. The only split testing we're going to be doing is going to be at the ads level, right? So right now there's a ton of ads in here, but I'm going to show you how to easily filter those out as well. But just understand that in this specific strategy, we do not split test ad sets. We just create 3 per product, we run those and then find the profitable ones and scale those, and then we go with new products, etc., etc. The only things that are being split tested are going to be the ads, and those already share the budget. All right? So what we can also do, we can go back to ad set, but it doesn't matter. I can select all of these and I can delete them. You know, you probably don't want to do that, but now you know how to do that. We can also turn them off. We don't need to go through exports or rules or any of that. You can also use view setup, which means that you're going to get a different setup, which on different basic stats in here, right? So if you have specific audiences or everything, you're not going to need to use this at all. Then we have the columns. We already went through that. This is the default, but remember, we created our own. That's the e-commerce strategy. I click here, I'm going to have a different view, and the ending here is going to be what is important for us to look at. Okay. We also have the breakdown. This can be pretty interesting because remember, we have an age span between 23 and 65. So if I want to look at, for example, a breakdown that's going to be by the age, I can click on by age, and then I'm going to get info underneath all of these, which is going to be what the results were from which ages. So we're going to get some breakdown data from there. All right. And then I'm just going to go back to none. Or if you're setting one of these and you've set multiple, you can click on clear breakdowns and they all disappear. Then we also have reports. Now reports are mainly going to be, for example, if you had clients or you had an agency, we don't really need to worry about that. But for our specific data, we can set up specific columns and then export that data and show that to someone, for example. All right. Now, what we can also do in order to have an easier view here, well, let's say that we're back at the ad sets. And let's say that we want to see specifically the ad designs for a specific ad set. Well, all we would need to do is click on that ad set, and then you're only going to see the ad designs for that specific ad set. All right. So if I deselect this one here, you're going to see that now I'm seeing all of the different ad designs, which is a ton of them. So this is going to be super important when you have multiple campaigns as well. You want to click on that campaign because then you're only going to see the ad sets for those campaigns and also only the ads for those campaigns. But if you only want to see specific ads for a certain ad set, you simply click on it and then only those ads are going to show. So it's kind of an inbuilt filter system. And then when you're tired of that, you just remove them just like this. So I'm going to head back here. Now what you can also do, which we already looked at, you can turn them on and off. You can view charts, which is basically all the statistics we have here, but we're going to get them some statistics visually rather than just in a table of numbers. We can edit, which we have already looked at how to do because it's similar to duplicate, just that rather than duplicating, you're editing the one you're choosing right away. And you can change the name here. Now there's also something known as account overview. Now account overview just means that you're going to get a complete overview of what you're doing. Just to give you an example at how this can look like from an old account that we've been using before, well, it can look something like this. You can see the total amount that's spent, you can see the impression, the link clicks that you've gotten. If you have a cat, you can see that in here. You can see the objectives you're using, the age and genders, which hour that's the most popular, the location you're targeting by. All of this interesting information you're going to get in here to better understand who your audience actually is, right? There's also something known as a learning phase here. Now, a learning phase basically means that the pixel needs some time before it can properly perform for your audience, right? Or rather, for the goal that you've set for it. So here you're going to have an estimate of how the learning phase of that pixel is going towards the specific goal and the specific audience you have. Now remember, the more ads you're running, the more information your pixel is saving up, the more it's learning what is working and what is not working. So that basically means that we have a snowball effect going on our Facebook ads account. The more ads we're running for a longer time, the better our ads are going to perform by default, simply because our pixel is getting smarter and smarter. And the smarter the pixel is getting, the more Facebook and the pixel, which your store information and Facebook information, they kind of go together hand in hand and they find the perfect match, the perfect audience for the products that you're sending out, right? This is very important. And then you scroll down and you're going to get the same information that we saw earlier. So the only thing that's different here is the learning phase that you can look at. I never use this. I just want you to know that it actually exists. So here we have the account spending limit. So that is pretty much all there is to it when it comes to looking at your ads manager. Now, of course, there are more functions such as there are rules in here. You can go deeper into reports. There are many ways of editing and using the filters and using the actual A/B testing. And you can use audiences. There are custom audience, but none of that stuff we need to successfully drive traffic to our store using the e-commerce strategy. So we're gonna keep it short and sweet, and we're gonna focus on driving quality traffic to our store and actually getting purchases and understanding how to do the detailed targeting, what rules to follow, when to scale, when to stop, and then how to scale. Give this time, give this your love, and you will see the results over time. Just understand that it can usually take quite some time before you find those gold nuggets, those really profitable ad sets. But we keep going, we keep searching and keep collecting the data for the pixel, and things are only gonna get better and better over time. Hope you enjoy this. Now you also have a good understanding of how the ads manager works. See you in the next lecture.